this Fly by the Seat of My Pants podcast? Yeah, I think I am. Because it's my birthday. And I don't want to write show notes. Alright, let's see here. Hello there. Welcome to the Little Fish Stitches podcast. My name is Megan. I am the host of this podcast, and I just want to say thank you for being here. If this is your first time, welcome. Warning, it's my birthday. There will be me being goofy, probably. And then, let's see. Oh yeah, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thanks for putting up with me. I'm glad you all keep coming back. So, like I said, today is my birthday. Now, if you've been watching my podcast from the early stages, this will be funny. I'm 38 now. When I started my podcast, I told people I was 38. I was 37. As of today, I'm 38. But I have this problem where my husband, who is about 6 months older than me, when he turns the next age up, in my brain, that means I'm the next age up as well, because we're the same age, basically. But not really. So I get to be younger than him half of the year. So anyway, enough of that. See, I told you I was going to get goofy. So, yes, and I am not using show notes today, so sorry about that. I will try to keep myself on track. So let me think here. Announcements. I'm still waiting to reach that 100 subscriber point. We're getting closer, but we're not there yet. So, when I get to 100 YouTube subscribers, there will be a giveaway. I will put a thread up in the Ravelry group that you can find me on Ravelry. Yeah. And it's the Little Fish Stitches podcast group. And when we get to that point, I will put a question thread, and answers will be your entry for winning a prize. So, yes. And while it's not 100% sure what it's going to be yet, it will be a project bag made by me and a skein of yarn dyed by me. So, there's quite a variety of those two items that I make. So, you never know. We'll see what I end up deciding to give away. So, and that's it. I'm not doing any knit-alongs right now. I'm just, yeah, okay. That's all. That's announcements. So I guess I don't really have any finished objects that I can show you in person because I was not very smart on Saturday and gifted the one item that I actually finished knitting this week without taking any pictures. I might text my boss and say, hey, send me a picture of the baby dress I made you. I showed it on the podcast last week. I knit it out of my Sarah's Starburst yarn, which is a pink and yellowy, orangey, variegated. And it turned out so cute. It was the peacock dress by Knitting for Olive. That's the name of the Ravelry store. I cannot pronounce the designer's name because she's Dutch, I think. So, anyway. And, I put on my base coat, but I didn't put on my gloss. And now I look still really dry. So, sorry about that, guys. Now I'm happy. Okay. Put my lipstick down and stop fiddling with it. I do have some sewing finished objects. Last week I showed you my cutout pieces of fabric. So, I've got this bag. A sheepy with roses. Drawstring. And this is listed in the Etsy shop as of this morning. And I've got This one, and these two I'm actually keeping for myself, but there's more listed in the shop. So this one is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them / Harry Potter themed. And yeah, these are my medium-sized bag, which I have discovered, at least for me, is my favorite size. My large bags are kind of really big, so they're like good for sweaters. And my small bags, they're great for socks, but these are good for in-between projects, like shawls and whatnot. So, and then I have one packaged for shipping. So this is the Christmas bag, and it's got the coordinating plaid fabric. So if there's enough left over after these have sold, then I might keep one for myself. This is really cute. And I did another of the sheepy bags with the dotted lining instead of the rose lining. And I also did, oh, excuse me, my ears are kind of plugged. I also did one of the Christmas lights bags, but I mailed it off to Janine of the Yarn and You Girl podcast for a prize for her knit along that she's hosting. Yes, and I also finished one of these bags out of this deer fabric. This one is mine. You can't have it. There are 3 listed in the shop right now. That's all the fabric I have for these, though. So I'm not making any more in this deer print. Probably because I wouldn't be able to find it. But anyway, so this deer fabric, so cute. I love it. But anyway, I shipped one of these and one of the plaid animal wood grain foresty Christmas bags off to Candace of the, oh, what do you call her? Candace Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast. So it's heading off to Canada to become a prize for her mint along if it gets there in time, because I was kind of late shipping it to her. So yeah, I made quite a few bags yesterday. I think I made about 8. Which, considering how I've been feeling lately, that's not bad. So I finished up a lot of bags yesterday. I had the pieces cut out. I just needed to do this sewing part. So I did the sewing part yesterday on a lot of them. I still have a lot of pieces in progress. So yeah, that's it for finished objects, and kind of sort of works in progress since the bags are not done. Yeah. So I guess I can move on to whips. All right, let me see. What do I want to start with? I have 5 whips over here, you guys. And that's not including the object that I finished this week. Oh my goodness. And it's only been a week since my last podcast. I've been busy, but you know, when you're not feeling super awesome and you have time to sit in bed and knit, lots of knitting happens. So I'll start with the socks. These are the socks I've been working on the longest. These are living in my Sunshine and Bubblegum cactus bag. And I have heels. Look, my socks have heels. So, goodness, I feel like I'm way far back from the camera. Scoot forward here. All right. So, the little green star was where I was at last week. So I made like another inch worth of progress plus heels on these. So I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can finish these this week. And then what I would kind of like to do is I have a pair of socks planned for each of the men in my life that are little and or grown up size. You know, my 2 sons and my husband. And so I have 3 sets of size 1 sock needles. And I'm thinking what I'll do is I will finish these socks. And then I will cast on all 3 pairs for the guys. So that I can be working on those and getting them being maybe a little bit sneaky. I'm whispering because Connor's downstairs. Because he stayed home from school sick today. So get those cast on. And then I will put those in their Christmas stockings this year. Yeah, okay. So yes, socks, making good progress. Plans for more socks about ready to be cast on. So maybe I will get these done this week. If I really push myself. Alright, so that is one whip down. Whip number 2. Brian's sweater. You know what? I just realized I never introduced myself. That's what happens when I fly by the seat of my pants. Well, I introduced myself, but when I introduce myself, I like to introduce my family too, even though you never really see them. So, I'm married. My husband's name is Brian, and we've been married for a really long time, 17 years. Not as long as some people, like my parents, who've been married over 40. And then we have 2 boys. Our son James, who will be 14 in just a couple of weeks. Oh my gosh. And then our son Connor, who is 8. And his parent-teacher conference is this afternoon. I'm like, happy birthday to me. I get to go to a parent-teacher conference. That's life. This is not the first year I've had to do his parent-teacher conference on my birthday. So anyway, Brian's sweater. This is the Donegal sweater by Moira Engel. And it's hard to tell because it likes to curl up. But I have decreased for the sleeves. And see where the little hamburger is? That's where I was last week when I did my podcast. Wow, that really blows out the screen. Anyway. So, this is, I believe, the front piece. I haven't really paid attention. I just started reading the directions and it said cast on this many and start doing this chart and this chart. And then decrease for the armholes. So, that's what I've been doing. I am knitting this in Malabrigo Rios in the Cereza colorway. And it's coming along nicely, and it's not coming along quite as quickly as it should, but I am making progress. So, Mr. Hamburger, it is time to move you up. If I can get you off, golly. These little stitch marker progress keeper doohickeys, they're so cute, but then you have to try to work around their chubbiness to undo the lobster claw. It's not always easy. I give up. We'll fix it later. So that is that. I made good progress on that this week. I need to make more progress on it. Which might mean those socks are not going to get done this week. And then, living in this super cute Christmas box bag that Jessica Ruth knits included in my gigantic purchase from her a few weeks ago. I have no idea who it's by because there's no tag on it, but it's cute and I like it. I finally did it, you guys. I finally did it. I cast on a stocking. Woo! So this is for my son James, and I decided to do his in Seahawk colors. And I'm just getting to the really interesting part of the chart. But you can't really tell a whole lot yet. But we were trying to watch a movie on Saturday night while I was knitting this, and I was like, I cannot watch Spider-Man and do color work, and it looks terrible, and I might need to rip back a few rows. But anyway, this is the bear stocking. It was part of a set of patterns that I bought from Annie's Woolens. So I think there were 5 or 6 or something different stocking patterns. So it's obviously top down, and yeah, I'm thinking I need to rip back a few rows because the color work's not looking so pretty for this part. But anyway, it's not a huge loss. This is like one day's work, you guys. I did this in one day, and it was Saturday where I spent several hours out of the house going to a baby shower. That kind of, I mean, it's not that hard, but those last few rows, they just don't look too hot. So I'm probably going to rip those back and redo them. But that's because I got distracted while trying to watch a movie. And then, let's see here. I picked up my Sunset Highway sweater again after like 2 weeks of not touching it at all. I have a couple yarn cakes in here that I haven't even touched yet, but they're ready to roll. So this is my medium-sized bag, you guys, and I have 4 mostly full cakes of yarn and my itty-bitty sweater in here. So that tells you how much these bags really can hold. You can cram them pretty full. But this is what I like to do with mine. I fold the top down so the handle is covered up and it's just like a little yarn bowl, basically. So I only worked on this last night, other than, so in the last 2 weeks I haven't gotten very far. But see where my little TARDIS is? That's where I was at, right at the beginning of this little point starting. So I did make some good progress. I got about, well, let's see here, how many rows is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows, with 1 row of those being an increase row of color work. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. And I feel like my color work is doing all right on this as compared to the stocking where it looks kind of terrible. But yeah. And then these are my floats. They're looking pretty good back here. So yeah. It's not, I don't think it's absolutely perfect, but I feel like I'm doing okay and I don't feel like I need to rip back or anything. So I'm thinking blocking will help this a lot. And yeah, so here, let's see if I can do this without being totally crazy. I'm totally crazy, you guys. You know that. There we go. I look like I'm wearing a weird collar right now. But anyway, yeah. It's super soft. Ooh, I love this yarn that I'm using, you guys. I'll tell you about the yarn, I suppose. The minty blue here, the start of the color work, is something you've seen quite a few times because I've been using it up. It's my Malabrigo sock in the water green colorway. And then this deep blue is Jorstad Creek, which is a dyer who is from Olympia. And she actually has a shop in downtown Olympia, I think. Or a studio. Something, anyway, that you can go buy her yarn direct from her studio. But I bought this at the Black Sheep Yarn Boutique. I cannot remember the colorway right now. And I don't think I have the tag in the bag, so... But anyway, Jorstad Creek. Jorstadt Creek. And I'm happy, and I'm going to keep working on this. And I wore gigantic sparkly hoops today because it's my birthday. Yeah, you're going to hear me say that too many times, probably. Happy birthday to me! Ha! Yeah, I don't know. I'm a dork. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm happy with the little bit of progress I made last night. I actually had to switch. I had my husband's sweater on the cable that I'm using now, and I had my sweater on this tiny short little cable, so it was all scrunched up, and I'm like, I have to add more stitches, and there's no room to add stitches. So last night I was like switching the cables around. Oh, and like I took one of these needles off and I put it on my husband's sweater cable, and then I just slipped all the stitches off onto that one because this cable is a lot longer. And so I had the 2 sweaters on the one cable, and then I took one of the needles from his sweater and put it on this, or on the other little cable, and slipped all those stitches off onto the shorter cable. Like you guys needed to know that. But that's what I spent part of my evening doing last night. So anyway, I am happy with my sweater. It's looking good so far. I'm excited to keep working on it, and who knows, maybe it'll be done in time for Christmas. That's what I would like. It's only late October. I have a little, I have like 2 months to get it done. Yeah, 2 months because today's the 24th. It's October 24th. Not 1979 though, because that's the year I was born. Yeah. So, Sunset Highway Sweater by Caitlin Hunter. That's the name of the designer. The other colors I'm going to be using. This is Plymouth Happy Feet in the Tuscan Spice colorway. So this will be the main part of the body of the sweater. And then I have, let's see here, this olive green as the other color for the color work. And I can't remember. This came in one of my packages from New Zealand. So my first package from New Zealand. So And I don't know what I did with all my tags because they're not in my project bag. So anyway, yeah. I think I wrote it down somewhere in my project. Not my project. On my notes for the podcast show notes. That's what they're called. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, I'm a dork today. I'm a dork every day. Anyway. So that's that. And that lives in my little deer bag right now. I'm probably going to have to switch to a new bag soon. But I have a new bag coming from the Crafty Little Fox. And it's a bigger one. I'm excited. Alright. And then... So I've been thinking about this project, for months. I couldn't tell you how many months. It's probably since I started watching podcasts at the beginning of this year. And that would be the Cozy Memories blanket. Well, today I will show you how far down the Cozy Memories blanket hole I got sucked. And that is living in my current favorite, might not be my favorite for long once my new one comes, that Crafty Little Fox bag. The gemstone bag. Anyway, I did 12 squares this week. Yeah. So, I will show you. There's lots of strings hanging off, but I don't want to work them in until I have completely surrounded a square, basically. So, da-da-da-da! There you go. So, now this is going to look weird, but this one right here, this stripy one, was my first square. That's the very first one I did. And so it's a little bit, you can see that I didn't start doing this center ridge detail until a few rows in. I was like, why is the center ridge not showing up? Because that's the way I wanted it. And I'm like, oh, duh. Got a purl on the wrong side row. Anyway. So, what I am doing with this, I am casting on 50 stitches or picking up 50 stitches. No, 51 stitches. And then center double decrease. But what I do is, for the center double when I do the decrease, I slip the center stitch off the needle, hold it against the needle with my thumb so I don't lose it. Then I knit two together and put the other needle back on, and then I slip that stitch that I slipped off over the... I don't know if it makes sense, you guys. I might just have to take a video of myself doing one. But anyway, I do it in a sort of unconventional way, is what I'm trying to say. So, I'll try to tell you all these colorways, but I'm not sure I can. Some are mine, some are not. So, like I said, this was my first one. This is my second one. And it was... This is a local to me dyer. I cannot remember her name. Valerie? That might be it. I met her a few months ago she was doing a trunk show at the Black Sheep Yarn Boutique. And anyway, so she does some dyeing, and I bought this skein at that point from her, and I used it in my my Find Your Fade shawl. So I just had just a tiny bit of it left because it was only like, I think it was a 50-gram skein, so I didn't have much left over when I was done, so I used most of the rest of it for my square. It was perfect. And then this purple one is my colorway. This is called Blueberry Smash, and this is on my tweed base. So it's Blue Faced Luster and Donegal Nips. So tweed, Donegal tweed. And then this one right here is also my colorway, and this is just on a 75-25 Superwash Merino nylon, and that is the Meet Me in Tahiti colorway, which was really my first official colorway. And then there is this pale pink. This is a merino silk blend that I still cannot remember, but I used this in my Find Your Fade as well. And it came from my first package from New Zealand from Wool Swap. and I like it, and I used it as contrast color on the baby hippo that I made last week for my great niece. And then this is, you'll probably recognize this because it was an FO last week of my Nomadic Yarns Bellatrix colorway from the socks. And then here is my Lolo Did It in the Pretty Little Zombies colorway. And I have used this in my Find Your Fade as well. A lot of my Find Your Fade, I think all my Find Your Fade colors are in here. Most of them anyway. So yeah. This was in my Find Your Fade and a contrast color for my socks that I made out of the Bellatrix colorway, so they had to be next to each other. And then this is another one of my colorways. This is the Sarah's Starburst color. And I had just a little bit left over from the baby dress that I made for my boss's baby. And so it became a square in the blanket. And then this craziness right here is another Jorstad Creek color. I believe it's called Shark Week, and I think it's 100% merino. And then this one I have not actually used for anything except this blanket. I'm probably going to make a pair of socks out of it. I bought it from Ross of Dye for Knitting, who's Dye for Knitting on Instagram and Etsy. He's a indie dyer, and he's one of the first people I purchased indie dyed yarn from. So I have one skein of his yarn on my wall back there, but it's beyond where you can see. So, but I bought at least 5 or 6 skeins from him at this point. And then this color also was in my Find Your Fade, and this is called Nargles, and this is by Emily of Misty Mountain Makers. And I just think this is such a fun, cute colorway. And then this bright yellow happy color is also from Misty Mountain Makers, and it was a mini that she included in one of my orders, so I decided to use it in my blanket. And then we're getting there, guys, we're getting there. This was in my Find Your Fade as well, and this is by Stacy of Spaghetti Yarns, and it's called There's a Parrot in My Candy Dish. Now, I actually met Stacy 2 weeks ago now, when I was on my trip over to Spokane and the Tri-Cities and Walla Walla. And she was at the yarn store that I met up with Jen at, and she was doing a trunk show where I bought one of her skeins of yarn. And I started following her on Instagram at that point, and just this week she announced that she's retiring from dyeing, and I'm like, dang it, because her stuff's cute. But she's got some health issues that just make it hard to be a dyer, and so she had to say that she had to be done. So I get it, because I've been having my own dang health issues. But anyway, so this was in my Find Your Fade. And then this is from Jen of the Perfect Stitch Fiber Company. And this, I believe, is called Wheezing Wizard. And this is what I made my Hermione's Everyday Socks out of. And then this is also from Jen of the Perfect Stitch Fiber Company. And it was a mini that was included with this skein and my wizard bag that I got the whole kit. And so I don't know what this is, but Jen does. It was just a mini, and there was no telling what it was because it wasn't labeled. So, but it's cute, so I used it in my blanket. And then last but not least, here is Toxic Oreo from the Lemonade Shop that I made my sock head hat out of. So, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is my very baby beginnings of my blankie. My husband's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm making a patchwork knit blanket. And he's like, why? I'm like, to use up my scraps. And he's like, alrighty then. You're weird. I love that man. But anyway, he's weird too, you guys. He's so weird. So, that was my rabbit hole of blanket craziness. And that is all 5 of my works in progress that I actually worked on this week. That's not all my works in progress. Oh man. Okay. So, let's see here. I am going to show you my acquisitions because I have all 2 this week. So I actually felt like I was showing some self-restraint this week. I only had 2 skeins of yarn come into my house. So the last couple of weeks, it's been ridiculous. It's like, what the heck? Knock it off. Your birthday's coming. You might be getting more yarn. So let me unearth it from under my whips here. I follow the Jessica Ruth Knits destash page on Instagram, and she's been destashing like crazy. I don't know how much yarn that woman has, but I'm like, if you're not going to use it, I will. So, trying to untie this. I got this little set of yarn from, I ordered 2 from her not her most recent, but a recent, yeah, I can't talk. Anyway, I ordered more destash from her. So this one is Lollipop yarn, and this is in the Be Merry colorway. So it's Christmas. So it's in this little bag. I'll pull them out and show you guys. I haven't actually pulled them out. So there's this little bright red. It's not quite so bright. The light just makes it look ridiculously bright. And of course I just drop it. Goodness. Get a good view of my purple hair. I just got it done. And then here's the stripey. I'm thinking that I might need to make me a pair and Connor a pair. Would you like some Christmas socks, Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's sitting on the stairs now. So, because my feet are little. So, I can get a good amount. Are you still recording? You are still recording. My phone does this funny thing where it decides it's going to stop recording about 30 minutes in. Anyway, then it just continues recording. So that was one. So these are socks for me and Connor because, hello, Spider-Man. Because Christmas socks, why not? And then the other thing I ordered from the D-Stash was this. And I'm going to make my older son, James, a pair of socks from this. And this is Penguin Soup, straight from the cauldron in the self-striping colorway called Night Gathers. Say hello to Spider-Man, everyone.
Hi. Hi.
All right, Connor. You're cute, but go away. Oh, goodness. So, that is it for acquisitions. I've been good this week. Well, let's see here. I want to talk a little bit. I found a new podcast. Sorry, my nose is itchy now. I found a new podcast because they found me first. I was looking at my subscriber list that will show me, who has subscribed to my YouTube channel. And I saw that the Mean Girls Knit podcast had subscribed to my channel. I was like, this sounds vaguely familiar. And I think I kind of recognized the person in the picture. And so I went over to their channel and just hit subscribe. And then a day or two later, I decided to, actually watch their podcast. And I was looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, I recognize Rebecca. Because it's 2 sisters, Rebecca and Stephanie. And I was like, I recognize Rebecca because she follows me on Instagram. And she likes things on my feed quite a bit, actually. And I'm like, oh, okay. Connections going on in my head. And then as I'm watching, I realize they are Pacific Northwest girls. And not only are they Pacific Northwest girls, they are fairly local to me, Pacific Northwest girls. So, as you may or may not know, I live in Aberdeen, which is on the coast, about an hour from Ocean Shores. And they live in the Lacey area. I think Stephanie lives in Lacey, and then Rebecca lives a little further north up near Gig Harbor. Which, Lacey is about an hour away. Gig Harbor is like an hour and a half less than 2 hours away. So it's like, maybe girls, we need just to get together and knit or something, because that would be fun. Yeah, so I've really been enjoying watching the podcast. It's hilarious. I have not watched their recent ones because that's not what I do. I start at the beginning and I work my way forward. So right now I'm, I don't know, like 8 or 9 podcasts in. So yeah. They crack me up. I'm like, every single episode they have me laughing over something. And I'm like, ah. Yeah. So I feel like I can relate to them a lot, other than the the energy drink thing. I can't do the energy drink thing. Sorry, you guys. I have in my trusty Contigo stainless steel bottle water. I'm a water and or coffee kind of person. Occasionally I will drink tea, but not very often. So yeah. Anyway, I am really enjoying them. They're actually up on my smart TV, which is off to my right, paused while I do my podcast. So anyway, they're called the Mean Girls because they're pretty snarky with each other, I think. But it cracks me up. It reminds me of me and my younger sister. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying watching all their podcasts. So Rebecca and Stephanie, if you want, get a hold of me. I will come to Olympia and Lacey or whatever, and we can have a knit day, something, whatever. We could do a yarn crawl. I don't know, something. Anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been fun watching them. And they have a lot of subscribers. They've got like over 1,000. I was like, wow, cool. So, anyway. That's my podcast love for this week. People local to me. I'm like, people who live near me who knit. What? Because yeah, I'm kind of like you guys. I'm like, there's nobody around me that knits except for my mother, and I love my mother, and we knit together occasionally. But you know, sometimes it's fun to have, you know, friends who knit too. So it's my best friend. I love her dearly, but she does not knit. My sister, I love her dearly, but she does not knit. My other sisters, I love them dearly, but they don't knit either. So, like, I need knitting buddies. Anyway, let me think. Is there anything else that I need to tell you guys? It's my birthday. Did you know? It's my birthday. I don't have anything major planned today. I worked this morning, which is good. I got about 3 hours in. I'm doing a sale, and I'm going to hopefully post this podcast before the sale is up. I put the coupon code up last week, and that's good through the end of the month. But today and tomorrow, there's free shipping in my shop if you live in the United States. So go check it out. There's lots of bags listed in my shop right now. So, yeah, I've actually made a couple sales this morning. I'm like, woohoo! Yeah, so lots of bags, lots of project bags. Oh, remember that big gigantic stash of yarn that I showed you guys last week that was given to me by a lady who goes to my church? Well, I gave some of that to my mom. She took all the teal 100% wool, because there were 3 colors, teal, pale pink, and blue. And when she was here and we were talking about it, I came up kind of with the idea that I might be over dyeing some of that yarn. So we will see. I think that would be fun because it's good yarn. It's just not in colors that either me or my mom would choose necessarily to use. So we will, I will probably give her, I need to talk to her, see what kind of colors she wants, but then I will dye some of the alpaca for her, and I will dye some of the wool, and we'll see how it goes. The pale pink is probably going to take the dye the best. There's a light blue and then more of a denim-y blue. Yeah, anyway. All right. Let's see what else. Not much news on the health front. I did have my lumbar puncture on Thursday. That went pretty well. But the results won't be in until next week. So, right, this week it's just been waiting. So once those results come in, I will go into my neurologist and we will discuss the results of that, plus the results of my MRI on my brain, combined with the MRI that we already got results on for my neck and upper spine, and we will go from there. In the meantime, I've been feeling slightly more energetic, which is really good because it kind of sucks laying in bed all day. Yeah, and is there anything else? My husband is in a play right now. He's been rehearsing every night, and that includes tonight. I'm like, honey, really? On my birthday? But we're going to do something tomorrow evening because he does not have rehearsal. But Connor has soccer practice. We might just skip soccer practice. Probably go out for dinner somewhere, and yeah. And I'm going to eat chocolate cake because I don't do that very often these days, and I want chocolate cake for my birthday. So, what else? Not much else. I did lots of knitting this past week. Not a lot of stashing, thank goodness, but lots of knitting. Stash busting. That's it. I'm stash busting. No, I'm not. So, I think my goofiness is making this kind of weird, but you know what? I didn't feel like writing show notes because it's my birthday. I keep saying it's my birthday. It's my birthday. I'm a dork, as I have said far too many times this episode. All right. Okay. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with my dorkiness. And I will go celebrate my birthday in my own weird way by going to a parent-teacher conference and sitting at home by myself in the evening. And, yeah. I'll really celebrate tomorrow. Alrighty. I'm starting to go off the rails here, so I will talk to you guys later. Have a good knitty week.